Welcome to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today. We're going to be taking a deep descent into the unseen architecture of the modern web. We're exploring some truly dark tech secrets today, digital anomalies that sit right beneath the surface of the websites and apps we use literally every single day. If you're into understanding the hidden structures that actually power our world, you are in exactly the right place. So get ready, because we're going to look at the internet not as a space for humans, but as an ecosystem built for machines. Okay, let's dive right into this. 72,000. Just let that staggering number sink in for a second. That is the exact amount of bizarre 4-second videos uploaded by a single solitary YouTube channel in less than a year. I mean, imagine the sheer mechanical speed required to pull that off. It's a volume that's completely physically impossible for a human being sitting at a keyboard. To hit 72,000 uploads in that time frame, you have to be uploading every few minutes, sometimes every few seconds, non-stop, day and night. So the source of this massive data dump was a channel with a name that honestly sounded like complete nonsense: Unfavorable Semicircle. It just emerged out of nowhere back in 2015 and dumped thousands upon thousands of these abstract, heavily pixelated videos onto the platform. There were no titles, no human faces, just visual noise and these weird bursts of distorted audio. It behaved entirely like a cold, calculating machine. And that is exactly what hooked the internet's attention. What on earth was this machine trying to communicate? Was it just broken, or was it executing some perfectly designed, totally incomprehensible script? Well, it didn't take long for internet sleuths on Reddit to start decoding the noise, and what they found was absolutely fascinating. They uncovered what looked like hidden digital broadcasts hidden in plain sight. Users actually realized that if you took the thumbnails of these videos and stitched them together, they formed these massive composite images. It's a technique known as steganography. And when they analyzed the audio, they found a distorted man's voice buried deep in the static, reading out letters and numbers, which is eerily similar to those old Cold War-era shortwave number stations. The channel even categorized its videos into distinct series, like Reel, Block, and then there was the incredibly unsettling D-Lock series, which featured audio that sounded like screaming or distorted laughter. It was effectively using YouTube's massive server architecture to broadcast encrypted data. Naturally, this relentless behavior spawned some incredibly dark and complex theories within the community. Some people speculated it was a test channel for a new Google AI, essentially a system learning how to compress video and audio by just brute forcing thousands of uploads. Others looked at the visual patterns and thought, okay, maybe it's a cellular automaton, right? Like a mathematical simulation of chaos and order, sort of like Conway's Game of Life. But the darkest theory by far was that this was a dead drop, a secure, encrypted signal designed to bypass traditional surveillance because, well, it was just a few drops of water hidden in the massive ocean of YouTube. The channel was abruptly suspended for policy violations on February 25, 2016, but it left behind a linked Twitter account that continued posting binary code, eventually ending with a final, chilling tweet that simply read, "Reset." Section 1. When machines take over, the autonomous shift. Look, while Unfavorable Semicircle was a strange, eerie anomaly back in 2015, that kind of machine-driven, rapid-fire interaction with the web, it isn't an anomaly anymore. Today, it's rapidly becoming the very foundation of the internet itself. According to tech builder Lucky Isa, the entire way we use AI is completely transforming. The 2024 skill is what most of us do right now, treating AI like a basic chatbot. Manually typing in a prompt to get an answer, then copying and pasting it. But the 2026 reality is entirely different. It's a massive paradigm shift from humans typing perfect prompts to humans orchestrating background developer pipelines. We are actively moving toward building autonomous infrastructure that utilizes self-correcting memory loops, executing complex tasks completely in the background, while you sleep. There's a great quote from an engineer at Anthropic, the makers of the Claude AI model, that puts the core philosophy of this new era perfectly. They said, "You're not supposed to prompt Claude. You're supposed to build a system that prompts itself." This brilliantly illustrates the massive leap to agentic work. It's the moment AI literally escapes the laptop. Instead of you acting as a middleman constantly feeding it microprompts, you define the environment and the self-correction gates, and the AI handles all the complex, multi-step dependencies without needing your constant babysitting. To make this concrete, let's actually walk through an exact blueprint of what this autonomous infrastructure looks like, straight from Lucky Saw's architecture. This is a 3-agent pipeline handling multi-step logic in the background. In step 1, you've got a lead routing agent that takes messy inbound information and structures it into clean JSON data. In step 2, a deep research agent grabs that clean data and hits the Perplexity API, autonomously scanning the web for news and text tags to write a 3-bullet briefing document right into a CRM. And finally, in step 3, an execution agent takes all of that context, feeds it to an AI like Claude, and auto-drafts a highly personalized email directly into your Gmail drafts, complete with a Cal.com scheduling link. The deterministic machine handles the logic, the human just reviews it and hits send. So the absolutely crucial point here is understanding what breaks these systems. When machines run autonomously, the main challenge isn't actually the AI model's intelligence anymore. The ultimate bottleneck is something called the context window junk drawer. See, when you let an AI agent talk to itself for hours, generating loops of logic, its memory degrades. The context just gets incredibly messy. Engineers actually have to solve this using techniques like Ralph loops, which are essentially forced aggressive memory wipes that kill the session context on every single turn. It forces a fresh, clean instance of the AI to read the current state directly from its logs. Managing that massive, chaotic stream of data, that is the real engineering challenge today. Section 2. Processing the noise, human reality versus machine logic. Now, these autonomous algorithms don't operate in a vacuum. They exist in a highly chaotic environment where sterile machine logic sits directly next to intense, real-world human discourse. To perform deep research or content moderation, modern AI agents have to objectively scrape and process everything. On one hand, we have the totally sterile digital infrastructure. API integrations, no-code AI stacks like Make or NAN, and JSON parsing. But immediately on the other side, the exact same web pages feature deeply human socio-political discourse. These autonomous systems are simultaneously ingesting debates over UK election funding, arguments surrounding the privatization of the NHS and Palantir's involvement, and highly emotionally charged global conflict reports regarding hospitals and schools in Gaza. The machine doesn't feel any of this. It simply maps the dependencies of the data, reading our human reality as just another set of variables in its context window. Bringing all these pieces together, we can really see that the automated web of today is this massive hive of machine-to-machine orchestration. AI tools aren't just sitting idle waiting for us anymore. They are actively generating, optimizing, and distributing content at an unimaginable scale. We have specialized tools like Deep Agent, simulating thousands of real users to hunt for software edge cases before a product even launches. We're even seeing specialized AIs collaborating with one another like digital multi-agent teams. The web is constantly being written, tested, and flooded with content by these autonomous orchestrations. Section 3. The Dead Internet Theory. When we connect those historical, brute force, mechanical uploads of unfavorable semicircle back in 2015 to the highly sophisticated, agentic pipelines of today, a picture really begins to emerge of a web that is increasingly non-human. This brings us to the dead internet theory. There's this quote from the digital documentation channel Void Terminal that underscores this reality beautifully and, honestly, a bit chillingly. They said, "The internet is a graveyard of data. If you stare at the static long enough, the static starts to stare back." With the sheer volume of machine-to-machine communication happening right beneath the surface of our daily feeds, from abstract automated videos to autonomous emails and deep research agents, the static of the internet is more active and more automated than ever before. So we started this explainer looking at a single rogue channel uploading 72,000 videos, and we end by looking at a web infrastructure where autonomous agents are just the new normal. And it leaves us with a pretty provocative final thought. In this new paradigm, are we just babysitting our browser tabs? Or, as these self-prompting systems learn to navigate human discourse and data, are the autonomous tabs now watching us? It's a question that really challenges us to consider who or exactly what is truly generating the digital world we inhabit every single day. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer and diving into the unseen web with us.